This is the insight for this video. The world won't run without you, can't run without you. This was something that was seen very clearly, and I wanted to bring this out because it's worth mentioning, it's worth highlighting, because I think as you go through life, there's a lot of people feel that, that their contribution isn't important or isn't valued, or maybe it's not even necessary. So there's a feeling that sometimes seems to appear for many of us that says, well, why am I even here? Or, what's the point? What's the use? But in fact, each and every speck, what is existing here, is absolutely necessary for the whole to function. So this is something that is 100% clear. It's very important to realize the truth of this by looking in your own experience and just seeing, first of all, that you do exist. And this existence is part of is in essence one with the universal reality. That's one way of looking at it, or one way of experiencing it. There's many ways of experiencing our nature. So when we contemplate on this, it helps to dissolve the thoughts and concepts around, everyone's going to just fine without me, or, whatever I'm doing is not necessary. Life goes on. A lot of people have this thing about life goes on anyway, which is true. Life goes on if and when, things change. Life does go on, but that doesn't mean that each and every aspect of the existence is not 100% necessary and important. Every single tiny aspect of it is equally and has full importance. It's not a small thing. Each and every action that you do, every breath you take, and even the tiniest gestures are of complete and total importance. It's not a tiniest bit that is not important. One time I was contemplating on, for example, why are there so many people doing this, that, or the other thing, whatever it is, People there's a sensation of, in the modern internet world, that you have to put yourself out there, or there's a lot of attention. It's difficult to, I don't know, get attention is the right word, but just to have yourself out there. And this basically, the world will not run without you. When you contemplate on this, that whole, what actually came to me is something like a vision. It wasn't anything special. It was just a understanding that came in the form of this image, which is something like a large tapestry. Imagine an infinitely large tapestry. For me, I saw it in kind of a golden color, but it can be whatever colors you like, or many colors, infinite number of colors. And each and every part of the manifestation is one part of that tapestry. So it could be a string. You could think of it as a thread in the tapestry, or it could be, a patch, those patchwork quilts. So imagine if you had this grand tapestry and one part of it was just gone. So that kind of ruins the piece, right? Imagine going to a museum and seeing your favorite painting, and then someone just cut a square out of it. So that's how it would be if you weren't here, or you weren't doing what it is you're doing. So this might seem very obvious to some people. Some people, it might be extremely important that you hear this. So, because the way, the fast-paced nature and the busy nature of the world. I just visited New York City recently, and I've heard, there it's a very busy, fast-paced lifestyle. When you're on the subway, everyone's buried in their phone or whatever, and so if you are alone there, you can feel, not only in New York City, anywhere in the world, you can feel you can get dejected and stuff. So just meditate on this, the perfect importance of each and every being and each and everything. It can extend to even objects, whatever is there. See that it is exactly the perfect part of this existence. It can change, but at that moment, at that instant, everything is where it needs to be. This actually empowers your individual activity and your individual movement, so if you're on the path of realization, non-dual realization, where you can get into a space of realizing the vast expansive nature, and then the body and the activities of the body become very, very, I don't know, secondary, or very not, feels unimportant. There's a point where you feel the spacious reality that's not identified with any body or any form. And then you can be resting in that vast awareness, which is a very important part of the journey. But this part accentuates, so this brings back each and every form, not only is part of a vast expanse that is perfect and whole in its nature, but it's also functioning. It's functioning perfectly in harmony with each and every part. So in however way that shows itself, those parts are in a beautiful symphony of functioning. So for example, if in music there are rests, so if you have a rest, people can feel like, oh, I'm not doing anything, why am I not getting this done, why am I not getting that done? But it could be that you're just on a little quarter rest in the music, or you're on a half rest, or you're maybe on an 8-bar rest. So, and that is important for that to be there. If that's not there, the piece would not be what it is. So this is another way. See how this is unfolding into a much deeper inquiry, or like a deeper opportunity for realizations. That's another beautiful thing about these insights. I just call them insights for lack of a better word. I'm sure there's better, more fancy ways to call them. But any seeing or anything which that comes from or to, sprouting out of the realization, also has this amazing quality where it triggers infinitely other realizations to open within you. And all of those realizations have their own potential to trigger other realizations, to greater freedom and greater understanding of also what is relevant now too. So the realizations and the way they filter through from the pure beingness through it opening into the manifestation and even into speech, because we love to stay in silence and just rest in silence. That's the beingness. the awareness and all that. But the awareness is functioning in perfection through all of the activity. That includes everything you do. It's also including, speech, which can seem very limiting and very dividing. Once you've tasted some silence or awareness, even if it's briefly, you'll immediately see how words are, very limited. And, you might go through a period where you don't want to even say anything because it's going to be misinterpreted, or, it doesn't carry the full understanding that you're trying to convey. But yet you start to see that the awareness is manifesting in these also. So each and every word that is spoken is also another thing that's there for, for lack of a better word, is there for a reason. Without any reason, it's just there. So anyway, enjoy this seeing. I hope it gives you more confidence in your own path, to walk your own unique path, to do your own activities that are based in freedom. That's very important. It's important that our activities are coming out of rest and freedom as its basis, not any lacking. So, but sometimes even if it is, you might feel, oh, well, this is not so important. But it really is important. So again, each and every one of us that is existing, without exception, is absolutely necessary. So the words to contemplate on are, again, this world will not run without you. That's the way it showed up. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Have a great week.